they say the good guy finishes last. Only problem with this is finishes at what last? See, a lot of people say they're red pill and they're woke and all this and all that, but then they turn around and make a statement like that. I thought the goal was to get generational wealth. I thought the goal was to succeed. So you're sitting on a yacht or a boat one day smoking a cigar or whatever, eating a plate of salmon. I thought that was the goal. I didn't know that the goal was sleeping with a bunch of women. I mean, if that's your goal in life, go ahead. Salute yourself, pat yourself on the back. Do you. But if your goal is to get generational wealth in general, you just want to be successful, you always want to work on your craft, you always want to stay busy, you always want to be productive, good guy doesn't finish last. Good guy does not finish last. When I say good guy in this video, I don't want people who chose to be players to be offended, because I know I have players who watch my channel. And that's what you do. That's what you want to do you. But when I say good guy, I'm talking about the guy that tried to be with a woman and look for a wife at 18 or some shit like that. Wanted to settle down. That's what I mean when I say good guy. Or just a guy that wants to do right by a woman, because even some players come across certain women and want to do right. But I got to make a distinction, because we're talking about good guys finishing last. So they don't finish last, man. And the reason why is because when it comes to being a man, it's deeper than just how many women you can sleep with, right? Let's take the player for instance. Let's just say the guy who chose not to be the good guy. A lot of them have kids out of wedlock, child support, in prison, broke. You can go on and on about this shit. Now you do have some that chose to be a player and they got all kind of money and all kind of this and all kind of that, right? But let's stick to the good guy thing, because nothing is all be all in anything you talk about. You can't say, well, all good men is or all bad men that. You can't do that. There's no such thing. There's always going to be some wiggle room somewhere. But I just want to kill that good guys finish last bullshit. Some women will say good guys are only good for raising your kids after you have your kids, right? And that's fine. Let them think that. Let the devil keep deceiving them. But think about this. A lot of good guys actually got their so-called high school sweetheart right away. A lot of them are still with that woman to this day. They got the woman before she got polluted by everybody and her mind got fucked up and her heart got broken, all that. So let me ask you this in this category. Did the good guy finish last? Or did the player win that went out, fumbled good women, and now he's stuck with Felicia's because he chose to fumble all those good women? Would you rather have your high school sweetheart, right, and have kids with her and all this and no child support and this and that? Or would you rather be on child support, baby mama drama, living with the fact that you fumbled good women because you never miss what you never had? Would you rather do that, or would you rather have the good woman? And you don't have the distraction of a bunch of women stopping you from becoming this great businessman. That when you deal with that one great woman, it helps that opportunity even better. Not saying you can't do it by yourself, but dealing with that one great woman, you have a better opportunity because it's less distractions, less energy that you're giving away versus the so-called player who slept here, he slept there. Let me ask y'all men something. Who really won that? I'm gonna be cooking all through this video about who really won what. Who really won? I think I'd rather choose the good guy. Or maybe the good guy got curved by a lot of women, right? But in that process of him getting curved, it just makes him mad and pissed off and sticking to himself and becoming this great businessman at around 30, 35 versus the guy that got all the attention and all the women. Now he got a bunch of kids, child support. He didn't reach his full potential because he was distracted by a bunch of women, because you're not going to reach your full potential if you're dealing with a bunch of women. You got to choose as a man. You got to choose. Do I want a bunch of women or do I want the success? Now, you could go after the success and then have a bunch of women, but then you probably fall off. So either way, motherfucker, you got to choose. Do you want a bunch of women or success? I think the Most High designed it that way. Which one do you want? Same thing with the women. Do you want a bunch of men? Do you want a bunch of men and fall by the sword and not be married and become a single mother and shit? Why you got all these looks? Or do you want to choose that good dude? Why you got all these looks? Because later it's going to be harder. I think that's designed by God. You know, it's a big test. Which apple are you going to bite? I can't read that. I'm sorry. What determines a good woman? Hold on. A good woman is a woman that actually likes you for you. She's not going to try to manipulate you, basically. A woman who, just like what determines a good man. He could be in the streets. He could do all that. But does he take care of you? Is he treating you right? Does he cheat on you? Plain and simple, because at the end of the day, there's really no such thing as good woman or good man. It's about how you treat that person. In other words, you could be good to me and then go deal with another guy and be bad to him. You're the same woman, but you chose to be good to me. So what determines a good woman? A good person that's a good person to you, that really wants to be about you and not just sleeping with a bunch of men or smiling at other men's face behind your back and all this other shit. Because I know a lot of people like to stab at that, well, what's a good woman or good man, trying to hide the fact that they don't, not you personally, I'm just saying people like to stab at that like they don't know what a good person is. We all know what a good person is. So let's just stop the nitpicking about, well, I don't really know what a good man is or a good woman is. That's why I picked such and such. He deceived me. You know exactly what he was, or she, or you men know exactly what these women are. I don't blame anybody but myself for the women that I chose, because I knew. You could tell a good woman from a bad woman. And I'm not saying they're bad, but you could tell the way they behave or the way or their intentions for you, because it's all about the intentions for you. How do they treat you? Women treat different men differently. Men treat women differently. It depends on who they are dealing with. I can't really read just because she has a high school sweetheart doesn't mean she'll be a great woman. See, now this is the thing. When I say something, I already said in the video earlier, there's no such thing as all be all. So just because somebody sold drugs don't mean he's a bad person. Just because somebody is in high school don't mean they are a good person. But you have to draw a line somewhere to explain this video. If I don't draw a line somewhere to show people differences, how are they going to grasp or understand the differences that I'm trying to make? Everybody knows that just because it's a high school sweetheart, it don't mean they won't work out. We know that. But what would you rather have? I already gave the differences of what would you rather have. Would you rather have the high school sweetheart woman, right? And when I say high school sweetheart, obviously the woman who really fucks with you. Would you rather have that woman who helped you become this great man and not be on child support? I've already explained this shit. Would you rather have that? Or would you rather go after the baby mama and all the women and be on child support? There's no need for me to make any more distinction when I've already completely made it. We can nitpick all day just because this or that. That's not what we're talking about. We'd be here all fucking day trying to prove a point of that. We can do that all day. We're not doing that today. I'm not doing that today. So back to what I was saying. Would you men rather have that woman that was down from day one, who chose not to sleep around like you, and chose to do the right thing with her worth? Or would you rather get the women that you got all the women and all this? Because make no mistake about it, the players are getting women that are basically players themselves that like to play around. That's why the so-called good guy, he's no fun. I want the player. That's why. I'm going to make him wait later and take care of my kids after I'm done playing with the player. Why? Because the player is fun. The player lets me put different dicks in my mouth. Pause. The player lets me do all this and all that. The good guy won't because he wants a woman. So all you good men out there scratching your head wondering why she likes such and such more than you, 9 times out of 10, that's why. Because that guy don't care if she fucks with other men. That guy don't come with rules and regulations. You see what I mean? And you can tell a lot about a woman by who she chooses, because if that woman stands for morals and value and all this shit herself, she's going to look for it in a man. But if a woman does not, she's going to choose the fun boy, because she doesn't even hold herself to them standards. That's why the fun boy is the better choice. The good guy's no fun because all he want to do is try to succeed in life and got all these rules and regulations. But the bad boy don't give no fuck about nothing but popping a bottle and smoking a blunt. And I'm not saying if you pop a bottle, smoke a blunt, you're a bad boy, or that's all you care about. But we got to make distinctions. We can't just sit around and say, well, I'm a nitpick all day. I ain't got time for the all-be-all police today. We ain't got time for that. Use your brain and comprehend what the message I'm trying to get across to y'all is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know that I say there's no such thing as good woman or good man, because we all can be good or bad. Period. It's a choice. It's a choice, man. So I'm done with that, man. Would you rather lock down with the woman right away and have more energy and time to become this great man, or would you rather be playing the field and being a player? Now, let's look about 30. We're going to say 25 to 35. That way, you know, it could cover a lot of motherfuckers. Now, let's say you're 25 to 35 and you tired of being that player, right? Remember, the good guy, he already good. He got his wife, he got his business and all that. He good. And when I say he good, we're not talking about a woman at all, she cheats behind his back and all that. We hypothetically are saying he got the right woman, which he probably did, because 9 times out of 10, unless she's really promiscuous about what it's like to sleep with other men, a woman who you catch at an earlier age really don't be on that sleeping around bullshit. What happens with a lot of women who want to sleep around and all this is because they got done wrong by some dude or many dudes, and now they just look at all men the same. They're all the same. So I might as well be a player too and play them. And that's exactly what you're seeing to this very day right now that's going on with a lot of women. The reason why they're playing y'all and all this other shit, especially you so-called good dudes, because they're not playing a player. You can't play a player, but she can play the good dudes. You know, the reason why she's playing you is because she got done wrong by the bad boy. The reason why she's telling y'all, wait for sex or this or that, and I'm calling or texting back 2 days later and all this shit, because she learned all that shit from the bad boy, man. Plain and simple, man. She learned all that shit from the bad boy. That's all she knows. So that's all she's going to do. So when she come across a good guy, guess what she's going to end up doing? Fumbling or starting to play the game. She's going to start playing the game. Sometimes they don't do it on purpose, but they just so used to it. They just so used to it. Like, and they end up playing the game and losing a good dude, man, because they think the guy's cheating or he going to cheat or some shit, you know? And they listen to their female friends too. But back to what I was saying, 25 through 30. Now, you're around 25 to 30. You chose to be a player, right? Remember, the good guy, he probably in the NBA by now. He probably in the NFL by now, because he didn't go out sleeping around. You know what he was doing? Studying for them exams and working on his football and basketball craft. That's what he was doing. He wasn't chasing no pussy. And I know as a man, because if I didn't chose the dope dealing route at a younger age, I probably would have been sweet at fucking football or basketball. So you can't tell me I don't know these things, because I've seen it with my own eyes from myself and other men. But anyways, he probably already in NFL, right? The good guy, or the so-called player, yeah, he got all the women and all that shit, but them women are ended up pregnant now. Them women are being destroyed, because if a woman is a good woman and she's working on herself too, 9 times out of 10, she probably didn't lock down the dude, man. She probably didn't met a dude in high school or some shit like that and stayed with that guy because she chose the right guy. See, a lot of times the reason why these women go bad or sour is because they choose the wrong guy. And then they get their heart broke, and then they end up being bad themselves. But if they choose the right guy, a lot of times they stick with that, and they're good. I've seen it too many times where a woman chooses the right guy at a younger age, and she's done. There's no bad bitch, none of this. None of this shit that you see, right? But anyways, he got child support to pay now. He was playing football, but he chose to chase pussy, so now, you know, can't do that no more. Can't play basketball no more. Matter of fact, he probably got a felony by now, you know, because he caught one as an adult. You know, it's just all bad, man. He probably selling drugs, on drugs. You know, I could go on and on. He got kids to take care of, too. Let's not forget about that one. Because if you have kids, you got to be a man to take care of them. So you got to deal with all that. Meanwhile, the other guy, he might not even have a kid by the girl yet. And even if he does, he good. Even if they don't work out. Because I know all police around. Even if they don't work out, he got a kid by a solid woman. Not some woman that chose to deal with the bad dudes and got destroyed and become a bad woman. Period. Right? So child support versus a woman that you know, maybe you are on child support, but she ain't gonna do you dirty like that, man. A woman that respects you. Because if you're a good dude, 9 times out of 10, the Most High gonna look out for you. It even says in the Bible, I will protect the good men from the harlots. That's out of the Most High's mouth himself. I will protect the good men from the harlots. So all you good men, why don't she like me and all this? Because a lot of times, she's basically a harlot. She's a bad woman, you know, or she got karma coming. It's not in her cards to like the good guy. She has to deal with the karma. So she stuck with the so-called bad dude until her karma is done. Plain and simple, man. So that's why she don't like you a lot of times. And you could say attraction, but if it's attraction, I guarantee you, if you're a good dude and it was based off of attraction, she would like another guy that's a good dude. She would not like discard this good guy and go like the bad dude to treat her like shit. Not buying that. Because she can find an attractive, good dude. Period. So you could X that out. Oh, it's not my type. Bullshit. These women have got all kind of options, man. They could find a good dude. They just don't do it because it doesn't resonate with their spirit because they're not good women, or they got to deal with the karma that they done with other men. So now they're going to fumble and pick the wrong guy. Plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. LeBron to go. LeBron's number 2. That's fine. I got LeBron number 2. So I ain't mad at you. You have a good day, though. You ain't fucking up my vibe today, bro. I just don't like how y'all try to shit on Jordan, that's all. Never said LeBron ain't number 2. That's my dude. But he ain't not better than Jordan. But anyways, like LeBron's a good example. Yeah, we're going to use LeBron today. Let's use LeBron since we want to talk about LeBron. You see how LeBron did that shit, man? He stuck with his high school sweetheart. Since everybody want to talk about just because she's a high school sweetheart, it don't mean shit. You're right, it don't mean shit. But it gives you a better fucking chance. I'd rather be LeBron with the girl that stuck with me before I became LeBron than to be these other basketball players that go out and fuck all these women and end up on child support and all these other things. I'm glad dude brought up LeBron. This might help this video become a better video. That's my point, man. Who would you rather be, LeBron or a lot of these other basketball players that got all these baby mamas and shit? I'm tired of people acting like, you know, the hood life or what you hear in rap music is the way to go. It's not the way to go, man. It's time to wake the fuck up, man, and take accountability for the choices that we make in our lives. Because if you don't take accountability, you're just going to fall by the sword even more. You're going to fall by the sword even more. And as men, oh man, but it's okay to sleep around to a certain extent, but not really, because there's consequences that come with that shit, man. You might not ever get Beyonce because you chose to sleep around. Because a woman like a Beyonce, or I know it's kind of hard to use her as an example because she kind of settled down at a younger age, but let's say she didn't. Let's say she waited till 30 or some shit. If you as a man, the only man that's going to get the only men that are going to get that Beyonce at that older age, right, is going to be the good dudes. Why? Because women get smart after so long. So if a woman doesn't destroy her worth before she understands who the fuck she should choose as a man, she's going to pick the good guy in the end. She's not going to be attracted to the bad dude shit. They're only attracted to that because they're young and dumb, man. But if they wait and hold off and don't destroy themselves, she's not picking the bad dude in the end. So the bad dude has to settle for Felicia, and the good guy to preserve himself now as a businessman. He might not be married and all that shit yet, but he can pull Beyonce now. The good guy does not finish last. He only finishes last if he allows himself to be destroyed because he's not getting play from these women who are fucking everybody. You got to look at the big picture though. That's all right, I ain't getting play from y'all, but I already know my Beyonce preserving herself just like I'm preserving myself. And only guys that's going to be able to pull her in the end are good dudes that took care of themselves and did right in life. Because she's going to be too smart to deal with that low vibration. Period. So how the fuck does the good guy lose? Either way, the good guy wins. Whether he wins in the beginning or at the end, he wins. He wins. And even if the good guy decides I want to be a player now, man. I'm 30. I'm going to be a player. All the women, they all got kids and all that shit. He still win because once these women get older, what are they looking for? That good guy. That good guy, man. You hear him say it all the time. The good guys are only good for later after we have the kids and shit. So either way, he's not saying that the good guy should risk all that and give it to these women who didn't want them in their 20s. But the fact of the matter is they really have all the pickings of the litter. All the other dudes is bald and all kind of shit because they chose the wrong path, man. You let the ghetto get the best of you. Nigga, that's a shame, basically. Basically, like Pac said about the women, the men do the same thing. You just because you're a man don't mean you can move a certain. You got to move a certain way still as a man. As a man, I know you see old girl you want to fuck. Okay, you better keep as less bodies on you as possible as a man. You got to focus on becoming a great dude with generational wealth and shit like that, so you can pass down to your kids. And this is what being a man is really all about. Establishing generations to come. It's not about how much pussy you can get. Because truth be told, the more generational wealth and all that shit that you get, you're just going to have pussy thrown at you. So it's not going to matter. But if you take the other way and fall off by the sword and all this shit and don't reach your full potential in the end because you chose to chase pussy, it's not going to end up good for you. And you're not going to get the best picking of the pussy in the end. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. But now look, when it really matters. Because when we all like 20 years old and shit, we all trying to figure out life and shit. So, you know, there's chances for mistakes and all that. But when you get in your 30s and shit, there's no more room for error. And if you ain't established by then, you're probably not going to be established. But guess what? The blessing about being that good guy that they want to skip over and all that shit. The good thing is, in the end, it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. You're going to look back at all those women. Be like, man, I'm glad that didn't happen. I'm glad they didn't like me. And the bad dude's going to look back at all those women. Man, why'd I have a kid by that bitch? Fuck! I'm telling y'all, man, it's not what it seems. If you play your cards right, and your intentions are good, and you put all faith in the Most High, you will not lose as a good man. I will protect the good man from the harlot, said the Lord. Not me, the Lord. So get it, stop, and y'all gotta get it out your mind. She didn't like me, dog. She liked him because she probably not a good dude or good girl. My bad. If you're a good dude and you got shit going and you not no hideous, ugly motherfucker, the reason why she don't like you is because the devil is telling her not to like you. He's telling her to like something that's going to destroy her, and it is what it is. But the good news is your Janet Jackson could be coming. Your Janet Jackson is looking for you. This is what they're not telling you. Your Janet Jackson is looking for you. She's wondering. She don't even think you exist. Matter of fact, she don't even think guys like you exist. They all the same. They all bald. They all got baby mamas, blah, blah, blah. She don't think a guy like you exists. So just imagine a woman who's preserving herself, waiting for a guy like you. And imagine if y'all meet up around 30, 35 or something. Come on, man, that's heaven. Y'all both preserve yourself and waited that long. And y'all understand what it takes to make a marriage work way more than someone in their 20s. So you're probably not going to end up divorced. Now, another thing that people will say, well, he's 40 years old, he's a good dude, and he's 40, and he's not married yet, something must be wrong with him. Let me ask y'all another question. Would you rather be the 40-year-old that's never been married yet, still has a chance to meet your Janet Jackson and experience that with her, and y'all really ain't got baggage and shit like that? Or would you rather be heading for divorce at 40 years old? Nah, bro. Which one would you rather do? Because if you get married in your 20s, it's kind of a luck thing, because y'all still don't understand what it takes to really make marriages work and relationships work. So if y'all work, it was a lot of luck. But when you older, you understand way more, right? You understand who to pick and all this other shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather never be married yet and possibly still experience that at an older age where I understand it better and I'm more equipped with money and spiritual enlightenment and all that shit versus 20 years old, you know what I mean? Nah, bro, it's not the same. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. A lot of people are getting divorced at fucking 40 because they got married at 20. Not because they're not good people. They just got married at a too young of an age and they picked the wrong person to marry. They didn't have that luck on their side, like some people who get married and find their high school sweethearts. So back to what a girl said, just because it's a high school sweetheart don't mean it's a good person or something like that. You're absolutely right. People could change. But more than likely, man, you know, once the streets get a hold of these women and men, it's a wrap. It's not just women, it's men too. This is why you see men do what they do. And y'all can't fathom in your mind what's wrong with this guy. Why don't he want the good woman? Why he doing me like this or that? Because he a good dude gone bad. The streets done got a hold of him. Period. The good dude does not finish last. Only way the good dude finish last is if your mind is low vibration and you only thinking about how many women a motherfucker sleep with. And that's stupidity. Because most of those women, those other dudes are sleeping with, is sleeping with everybody else. So you trying to tell me they winning? Nah, I don't think so. You would rather sleep with a woman that's fucking everybody than to just fucking bust your own nut. There's no fucking way on God's green earth that I'd rather sleep with the STD Felicia when I could just bust my own nut. I don't give a fuck. At least I ain't getting spirits put in me and all that other shit. Y'all not making no sense because y'all vibration and y'all focus is wrong. I thought it was about generational wealth and self-improvement as men. I didn't know it was about how many women you could sleep with. I mean, if you're going to go off of that, then I guess the good guy finishes last. But if you're going to go off of a whole body of work of what a man is really supposed to be about, the good guy does not finish last. The good guy does not finish last. And he got good karma on his side and the Most High. Because the Most High is ultimately the one protecting y'all from these Jezebels and harlots. And you could say the same thing vice versa with a lot of y'all women. Why don't he like me or this or that? And because, man, a lot of times these dudes ain't good for you. You like them, you're attracted to them, but God knows what's what. That's why he don't like you. It's a blessing, but you don't see it that way. You see it as, I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, so I'm going to go cry in the car. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie, man. A lot of shit that seems good in this world is actually bad. And a lot of shit that seems bad in this world is actually a good thing. Not everything, but a lot of things. You have to have that spiritual eye to really detect what's what. For now, I'm gonna leave this shit alone. If you're a good dude, especially you young good dudes, man, even you older ones, do not fumble. You done made it this far. Don't you dare fumble and go back to Felicia that didn't want you or whatever. Don't you do that shit. You know what I mean? Keep it moving. Even if you have to die by yourself, it's better than working that hard and then being like one of these NBA basketball players, getting with that older 40-year-old woman and now she's taking him for everything. You know what I mean? I would much rather be LeBron with Savannah. No way around that shit, man. And if you're a younger dude, you really don't. Most of the if you can't get if you got a good woman, if you a younger dude and you got a good woman like you, there's two things that's going on when you're younger. One is, you usually come across a good woman when you're younger. But the problem is, with a lot of us men is, when we're young like that, 21, 18 or whatever, 18 to 25, we want to take that player route, man. Like a lot of females, but I'm going to speak with the men for a minute. We want to take that player route. We want to sleep with whoever and do this and do that because we think it's cool. Because when we're in these circles, this is what these males are telling you. Yeah, I fucked what's the name last night. You think you missing out. You ain't missing shit. Because in the end, you're going to shine. And they're going to look stupid. They get all the perks now. But in the end, you're going to shine. I tell young people all the time, they in college or whatever, don't worry about the women right now. Unless that woman is really trying to have a boyfriend and settle down and not necessarily get married, but just she don't want to be like out fucking with a bunch of men and shit. Unless you come across that, then don't even worry about it. Just keep it moving in life. Because if you don't, you're going to fall by the sword and you're not going to become Patrick Mahomes or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? You could become president. Who knows? But them stumbling blocks be the men and women, man. And most people who get all the women and men at a younger age usually stumble because they're not equipped to handle that. They're not equipped to dodge that sword, man. Plain and simple. So it's really a curse. It seems like a blessing, but it's really a curse. That's why the fine woman a lot of times it usually ends up turning into Felicia in the end. Fine as hell, but now she Felicia. Because, man, the devil, man, he gonna use that temptation, man. And a lot of women don't understand that God gave you beauty for a reason. Just like they say God gave Adam, a lot of people on Facebook, God gave Adam one woman, not 10. Well, God gave you beauty for one man. Why are you showing it to everybody? Why are you using it to deceive men and all this other shit? You see what I mean? You see the hypocritical bullshit that people be talking about? You know damn well these women ain't supposed to use their beauty for what they're using it for. Not all of them, but most of them. Even the Most High say their beauty is vain. There's a reason why he's saying that, because he already know. You got to understand, God already knows what's going to happen before it happens. He already know that the devil going to try to use the woman's beauty and pump the woman up and make her be deceitful and all this other shit. And that's what you see going on right now to this very day. You know what I mean? Plain and simple, man. So you the good dude, man. If you the good dude, just stay focused. In the end, it's a marathon, not a race, man. They winning, they getting all the women, they popping the bottles at the college party. Take your ass in there and study. Go throw that football, basketball, whatever the fuck you got going on. Don't even worry about what they doing. You doing grown man shit right now. They doing teenage shit. They should have stopped doing that shit once they got in college. But what happened was they amplified it and they decided to party even more. And most of them going to fall by the sword. But you are different, right? Hit those books. Study your craft. You're going to get the right woman. Because the Most High says he's going to protect you from the harlots. You know, but if your intentions are bad, well, then you're probably going to fall by the sword too, just like the players. You want good karma on your side. You want God on your side, man. So that's all I got to say, man. And make sure that y'all look at this shit from a spiritual eye. Do not look at this shit from the worldly eye when it comes to who likes you and who don't, and who's finishing last and who's finishing first and all this other shit. I still remember to this very day, you know, from maybe 2011 to like, you could say now. I seen all the guys, yeah, they getting all the women, they partying and all that. And in your mind, you thinking, man, maybe I should just do that, man, and do this and do that with them. But now I look at them and look at me, I made the right choice. I'm glad that I wasn't a popular guy and all this other shit, because it paid off in the end. Same thing when I was a child, a teenage kid going to school and shit. They got all the attention and all that. I still get, and you still gonna get women as a good dude. No, make no mistake about it, but more than likely the women that come your way are good women. That's why you're not getting as many as a so-called bad dude. More than likely, the only women that are attracted to the good dude is good women. Not always, but most likely. And that's why the so-called bad dude gets a lot more women. And the devil's rewarding him for being bad. But God's reward is better. What y'all not getting. God's reward is better. If you want to look at the reward of the devil, multiple women, okay, that's fine. But the woman that God got for you, there's no comparison. It's no comparison. But how you gonna get the woman that God got for you if you don't, if your intentions and the way you move in life ain't right? You have to be a good dude to get the woman that God got for you. I could have just said that and just ended the video. In order to get the woman that God got for you, you got to be a good dude. There's no way around this shit. No way around it. In order to get the good guy that God got for you women, you got to be a good woman. You can't be a bad woman and God's going to bless you with a good dude. How does that work? It's not going to work, because he already told you, I'm going to protect the good guy from the harlots. So if you want to be the bad bitch harlot, how the hell you going to get a good dude? How? The Most High is not going to allow it. Even if you come across it, there's going to be a stumbling block that's going to cause that dude to go away from you, or cause you to go deal with another man and fumble that guy. Something's going to happen. Y'all get it or y'all don't, man. I'm done.